Here we go again with another one. We got an update, or did we? What I'm seeing right now is a little bit interesting. I am seeing that this is downloading at 3.8 meg per second when I do a speed test. As this is happening, getting a rate of over 317 meg. So I'd like to figure out what's going on with that one. Either way, I dye the grass. Here's what's been going on. I've been going after these missions. I don't know why. I just want to get all of the prerequisites so I can get a SAR mission for myself. I want to be working for myself in my career, so that is exactly what we are going to continue doing. So the first mission I did here, I wound up, let's see, taking off from the helipad. I sped through these, so we're not going to kind of spend too much time doing this. So you'll see that I'm just going to fire up these choppers. This is over water. I'm going to open up the bottom window and perhaps take a attempt at using that floor hatch window for some of these missions. Paying attention to my slack line on the deck, making sure that I'm not dragging it into anything. You can already see the marshmallow in the picture. Things are going along nicely. The weather, not too bad. You can even see the water in the background. Doesn't have that many high waves on it, probably a foot to 2 feet, something like that. They do put this cargo, however, extremely close to the rigging. Yeah, makes it extremely interesting. I'm just too nervous next to this structure to actually start using that downward facing window at this point, so I'm not. I'm just going to very carefully try to pick up the marshmallow and move along. It is so close to the rigging. I'm just still curious if anyone has played these games before or if they really want it to be that challenging, because that is pretty amazing. That is absolutely challenging. To get it off the deck, I gave it a little bit of a tug. Not too bad, but then we just go about our business as usual. Fly along, try to communicate with ATC, make sure that we're not flying over any airports in the middle of the ocean, which is always very important. Quick, fast, and in a hurry, we get on over here. The boat's in the water, we reply, we get the clearance, we come on in. Again, our cargo has just disappeared. We no longer have a marshmallow. It is just a bare twine at the end of the chopper. Trying to communicate with ATC, but again, it's not giving me a response in the communications panel, so I kind of abort that for now and just continue on about the business of not crashing into the boat, the rigging, because the ground effect around this ship is pretty violent when you first approach it, for sure. Trying to take the approach slow, considering whether or not I should jump into the chopper and use that floor window again, but I think I just need to get comfortable with the aircraft and pay attention to the shadows of where this slack line is in relation to the pad. And I did miss it a little bit this time, but I think it would be a lot easier if I actually had the shadow of a cargo there as well. But I think I did pretty well. It was relatively close to the center, and we are off and on our way, leaving the marshmallow behind once again. And then it just disappears. This stuff is just absolutely fantastic. Now, they did push an update out just a little while ago, and I'm very curious to see what kind of systems are impacted by that update. I do enjoy the scenery. It's just absolutely fantastic. The fidelity on these models is fabulous. So we come into another landing. Again, we're getting a pretty good stretch on our slack line. There's not a lot of like a weight bag sort of feeling to it. It's very loose under the chopper. I guess they're not worried about it impacting the tail rotor at any point. Either way, we put it down pretty close to the center of the pad right here. Not exactly too smooth, but down enough it is. So we wait around to get a grade of an A. 67% for the cargo, precision 100 on integrity. I like that. Execution time 70%, 90% because I missed an ATC transmission. Only because, once again, I wasn't even allowed to. Moving on. Then what we do is we get into this guy. So now we're back out to the exact same location doing the exact same mission. Why not? We were so close last time. Let's see what happens. Yep. Okay. Great. We're moving on. We're moving on. We're moving on. We're moving on. It's all the same thing. The exact same thing. It's the exact same thing. Come back. We land. What do we do? Let's see what happens to the grade. B. Goes up to an A after a 100% aviator performance, though. The drop precision and execution time on this one were pretty good. Not that bad. I can't be mad. I honestly can't be mad. Moving on. Now we're on to what I would consider to be mission 4. Oh, okay, so we went over land this time. Cargo transport for a unit oil rig team. This is where things get just simply amazing. So this mission, if you haven't been here before, I highly recommend it. Take out how close the rig is to the shore. And not to mention what we're actually going for. Our pickup area is, yes, indeed, another one of those same cargo ships that we just hoisted to. This is fantastic. So I'm going to speed ahead here. And once again, we get an aviator performance for overflying an airport without an announcement. And I have yet to check out whether or not this airport is technically a watercraft airport, but it looks to be some kind of bay underneath us when it triggers that. So it triggered it on the way out. Then I get into my pickup, which goes relatively smoothly, so to speak. I also hope that this update that they gave us today has done something to optimize the trim on this aircraft. It can currently be trimmed, but it is sporadic at best when it actually works smoothly, like all of the other helicopters I've trimmed. It is way too much of a hassle to bump and press, or just tap the trim to get these things in a nice stable hover. It would be dreamy to have a working trim doing these missions. We do get it off the deck. We're coming around, acknowledging all of this. We're trying to pay attention to ATC communications, the whole 9 yards, and this box just starts swinging below the helicopter. We're going to come back over this bay you see us going towards now. Wouldn't you know it, aviator performance for overflying the airport without an announcement. What in the world? I digress. We come into the approach. Again, they put these target zones so close to the rigging of this shoreline oil rig. I don't know if they ever fly these prior to launch or not, or if they're really challenging our piloting skills to this level on purpose. But either way, this stuff is extremely entertaining. Very hard to get a hold of the aircraft. Still haven't tried to really use that downward-facing floor window just yet because it's just such an uncomfortable view to be in. Set it down pretty good. Got it unhooked. Went in for the landing. Not too shabby. A little bit of a wing around on that landing, but we come in, we drop it down, and we see what happens. Well, what is the grade this time? 47 for position. Integrity, once again, 100. Much better on that. 78%, and then we get 2 overflying airport dings and a missed ATC because Microsoft. I absolutely love it. It just doesn't get any better than that. So now we go off to a different location, more inland, and we get to one that actually has 2 missions over the same location, and this time it actually looks like a house. So we're going to get this one done. It's a material delivery, and we just jump right to it. So when we're approaching the pickup area, I'm trying to use this downward facing window even more. I found that it is possible, especially with trim. This is going to be the best way to do it. Even if I were skewed a little bit closer to the stick, at least I have a visual of my instruments and out the bottom of the aircraft at the same time. It's just that my perspective is still a little too far forward to truly know where my rope is in comparison to how high I am off the ground, how high it is off the ground. And trying to get that angle is going to take a working, like a 100% functional trim. If not, I mean, these missions they're possible, but it's going to have to probably be done from outside of the aircraft. And we're going to need to be in locations where there aren't ghost airports over golf courses or bays with boats in them. Especially when we're in an area that has absolutely no traffic. The traffic is turned off intentionally at this point. All of the settings are realistic, except we're still getting infringements for talking to an ATC that is supposed to have been disabled. This view will work. I have a lot of confidence that with a properly working trim, which we might see today, I have all my fingers and toes crossed. But once this is a trimmable aircraft, this view will work 100%, because we'll be able to see the horizon on the gauges, and we'll be able to see out of the bottom of the aircraft through the floor. However, it takes so long, I just kind of give up at one point. I'm trying to figure out how low to the ground I am. I can see the marshmallow. I'm getting a little bit closer to it in this method. Just trying to scoot my way over. But I'm still obviously too far behind it. So in trying to get this, I would much rather just use a little bump trim instead of a bump and hold trim. And then all of a sudden the aircraft kicks and you have to do that correction. It's extremely difficult, but this is plausible with workable trim. And again, I would use just a different perspective. I would slide myself a little bit closer to my cyclic and then tilt the camera down a little more so I could see the edge of the circle out of the bottom of the aircraft. We get it anyway. We pick up the marshmallow and it's all about on our way. Again, just trying to pay attention to how nicely we come off the ground with it. I think I'm going to drag this one backwards a wee bit. I don't quite remember how this went, but either way, I'm trying real hard, once again, to get into the aircraft and use that bottom view. And it's just at this altitude, even from that perspective, it's not feasible. And then your package just vanishes. It's epic. This stuff is just absolutely amazing. So we go for it. We get some altitude. We're heading out. 3.88 kilometers, nautical miles, whatever you want to call it at this point. Here we go. Da, 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 da. And now we're back in trying to once again see if we're going to use that view, and it's an immediate decision of probably not. But here we go over a field again, and now I'm just going to contact ATC and say that this little cornfield below me is the hook 0010 traffic on 122.9. And I'm going to give a preemptive strike against a inadvertent flyover of a non-existent airport. Why not? Beat them to the punch, right? Hilarious. Moving on. So we get into the drop. Again, you cannot see the cargo underneath, and we have just a building on top of the drop area. Do they want me to drop it on the roof? Nope. They want you to drop it on the ground, and again, it's just buried in the trees. I should have aborted the mission right here, but again, this stuff is just way too comical to not do. So we're going to do it. I fly in. I'm going to drop the package, I think. I've got a pretty good descent going into it. It's slowly coming down. Again, trying to keep the tail rotor out of harm's way. Not exactly easy. Again, the rotor wash between the trees off the top of the house and whatever else was going on here, we get a risk of mission failure. Don't let the cargo collide with any obstacles. Well, thanks for not putting any in my way. I'm just astonished that I was able to get this aircraft between these trees. Barely. I mean, I'm just snug as a bug in a rug. Just trying to put it down. I need to kick that rotor over the other way, but instead, because of my trims not doing what they're supposed to be doing, it kicks, and now I can kind of slide over. I cannot wait till this aircraft is trimmed, and I'm not sure if this update today is going to contain that bug fix or not, or exactly what did they fix. Either way, trying to get this thing on the ground was nightmarish. We sink way down in the trees. Of course, that's way too low. How am I going to keep this aircraft stable? Probably not for long. And of course, she tips back trying to do just a little bit of trim. Wrong decision. Crash. Down she goes. You got to love it. So, of course, what do? We keep trying it. Because it does load you back in after you crash above your target. Because why not? We dive in a little bit more. It's wanting me to hover. We actually put it down on the ground, but we put it down on the ground just to the left of the roof. There was really no other way to put this in. We get it. We got it down. What do we get? The B. The B it is. Even with the extra XP points, the B it is. Alrighty then. See, we're not earning that much money. This one came in at just over 4,200. Moving on. We get to the next one after we take another reputation hit. And this time we're still comparing 2020 to 24. But what we're going to do now is actually compare it live in-game and see what kind of changes have happened since the update was released. I am going to do my usual routine of starting out with a free flight to make sure that my selected aircraft has the proper settings mapped as intended. Going into the controls. Once they load the presets, if they load the presets, there we go. There should be a the hoist is gone. Alrighty then. Either way, H125 is still there. We will save and go back. Save and go back. And we are going to dive right back into a search and rescue mission. Hopefully. Not another cargo mission. I want to do another SAR mission. We're going to see how it goes. And then I want to open this up to something like a free flight. We're all just going to take a break and hang out together for a while. And I want you guys to join in with your choppers, even your planes. Look at this. Now, okay, these numbers have been fixed. Remember the last time we saw this, it just said that it was the guy said a number, I think what it had there under passive income. Now I've been dinged for one reason or another. 163,890 credits after one concerned aircraft. Wow. And that's a heck of an insurance bill. Woo, yeah, I got 0 credits to my name. Absolutely fantastic. Actually in the last video I think I did 2, but now the numeric values are actually catching up and it's just a little bit more of a surprise. A big one at that, considering that my crew is still in an off configuration. Okay. So I'm being dinged for the insurance even though my aircraft and its crew are unavailable. Not what I would have expected. Where, oh where? Oh, wait a minute. You know what's going to happen? I don't have any money. So if I try to fly anything as a freelancer working in my own company around a spot where I do have an aircraft, I'm still going to probably need to transfer to this one. Yep, it says aircraft needed. Guess who's not going to have the money to get the aircraft there anymore since my insurance bill just came through. This is fabulous. I don't know what to say anymore. Other than great graphics. Most of the flight characteristics are fantastic, but the overall simulator itself, as far as these missions and career mode goes, is leaving a lot to be desired. So far. I am hopeful. I really am. It's been discouraging, but at the same time, fun. Watching the search and rescue missions go horribly wrong, all the way to the point where our flight mech, yep, unavailable, sorry. No can do, home slice. You're going back to work for someone else for a while until you ain't broke. Wow. Wow. That is just amazing. And look where all of these cargo hook missions wind up. So this is where they want you to perform the drop. And this is like this the majority of the time. As this generates in, you can see that it's just trees. And I could go to any one of these and search for quite a while before I found one like the last one that was just a house. There is at one point like a cabin you can actually reach. Here we go again. Is this the same one with the split that we just did over the house? Nope, no house. And if there are search and rescue missions, I'm betting they're going to be in Alaska and the just general. Oh my goodness, it's the same stuff. We're going back into the middle of the ocean here for this same exact mission again. Jennifer's still there. Wonderful. I bet I could find her pretty quickly. And then we have old boy up here who's in the woods. I believe this winds up to be Sarah. I don't remember if this is her or not, but yeah, looks pretty close to it. There is a spot to land just to the left a little bit, but it winds up to be too far away from the survivor. Not gonna go there. So I think I'm at that point. What do you think? Is it time to just take a break from career mode and wait until they fix things? Or do we go into an Alaska hoist? This is also off the water again, and I've done this one before. We could do a cargo mission out here as an employee, again, in really rough weather conditions. The decisions, man. I'm almost tempted, like I said in another video, I'm almost tempted because of all of this nonsense to just start a brand new career. I mean, here's what I'm risking though. What if I go back and start a brand new career and I have to get all of the endorsements all over again? Because in companies, all companies manage company. Are able to edit the name yet? Coming soon. Nope. Overview. Account history, period of time, density areas. Where was the option to restart create companies. See, I can't do a search and rescue company because there's no aircraft available for purchase. 2 of the 3 specializations are unlocked, so in all technicality, according to this, I don't need the cargo hook endorsement or that S rating on one of the cargo hook missions. But if I want to go into no available aircraft for purchase, so I'm at $0 anyway. But man, if this sets me back, first of all, I need to find out where it was. All companies. Let's go back one more time. There was a way. Certifications. I don't want to risk losing all of these endorsements, though. I have a feeling that Microsoft would do that to us. But boy, is it tempting. I think we should just get in and free fly. Do we try another cargo hoist mission out in the middle of nowhere and try to get the S rating? It seems like such a waste of time, but either way, I need to earn more money. They wiped my account clean with an insurance payment of over $100K. That was joyous. All right, we got another building. So, I mean, kind of. 2 different missions, and when they split these apart, actually selecting one of the missions becomes quite interesting. You can't hover your cursor over it properly. I can't believe they wiped me clean. $28. Oh my goodness. I'm doing it. I want that money back. I can't risk doing the end of my company just yet. That would be just too devastating. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get out of slump that they put me in, but man, that hurts. Oof. Painful. Well, I mean, so far the simulators are responding a lot better. It is smoother between screens and everything like that. So maybe that's part of the fix that they put out. Mission criteria. Oh my goodness, I can't believe we're doing this again. Am I ever going to get the S rating on one of these missions buried in the forest? I would be thoroughly impressed if I did. But we shall see. Back in the old H125. Have some trim. Are we going to be trimmed? Do we have any bets? Anyone want to place any bets on whether or not this is trimmed yet? I'm going with no. I'm betting those fixes, bugs, that update was fixed wing, or fixed wing. But I want the money to earn it. I want a SAR company of my own. The quick start, yada yada. Here we go.
Engine started preparing for takeoff.
Let's get this puppy in the air. Long flight plan. Ooh, shot through the trees. They still look pretty 2D to me. But then again, my graphics are way down right now. And I do mean way down. Trying different things to help the stream out. I don't know if their bugs are trying to fix CTDs or their bug fixes are working against them, but I'm trying. For now. Anything I can.
Can you lift the container with your chopper and oversee its deposit?
Oh, here we go. Is ATC functional? to tune it right away. Get them on the right one. We're going to announce the taxi.
Lima Delta Sierra, Sierra Traffic SAR, Heli 241, Sierra Charlie India.
I should try the trim as soon as I get to the hold short. Single button presses are non-reactive. Long button press to the right brings a slow, glitchy response. Interesting. Not fixed. Pretty much the same performance as it was last time. It drags right back to the right, and that trim only holds for a brief moment, and in re-up, it reverts. Not much new in the world of trim. It works, but it doesn't. It doesn't stick. It's got a mind of its own. Pitot tube heat is on. Announce the taxi.
Lima Delta Sierra, Sierra Traffic SAR, Heli 241, Sierra Charlie India, 7110.
We're gonna go Alt N. We got a long flight. I just did that too late. Boo. Boo. There goes the S rating. So, you know what? Here we go. Let's do this. Screw it. Where did they put us this time? Maybe we can practice more of that downward facing dog. Contact center. Flight following action.
Center SAR, Heli 241, Sierra Charlie India 7110. Is type 1
Keep an eye on that EFB to see if we're passing over any
300 feet. Request flight
airports,
SAR Heli 241,
golf courses, aircraft carriers, cargo ships.
10 Sunrep Center. Squawk 5 Tree 01. Squawk 5
I also noticed earlier that the
Heli 241,
speed gauge was not working. It was pinned at 0, and then it would glitch on and off.
SAR Heli 241, Sierra Charlie India 7110 radar.
Let's try the trim while we're in forward flight. Press and hold, no response, and then all of a sudden a slow, oh, and just, oh, yep, that's a no. Now I'm trimmed a little too far that way, so now I'm going to try bumping the other direction. And now it's pulling its nose up pretty hard. One bump forward and wait for a response. Not too bad. One bump forward, wait for a... Yep. Still a little glitchy.
SAR Heli 241, Sierra Charlie India 7110. Did you hear my last transmission?
Quite glitchy. Either way, I'm in for it. So the pickup area I have decided to just fly away from. That's pretty amazing.
SAR
Yeah,
Heli
we're gonna go ahead and rock this world out.
7110. Did you copy?
Yeah, rockstar moves. Just like an H125 can do. It's not a game, it's a simulator. I got the moves. Drop that altitude. Horrible. Can't believe I'm allowed to do that. It's good stuff, though. Got to be doing a pretty good clip right about now. Oh, yeah. Coming at the 110. And even with the graphics pushed down a little bit, I feel like I'm getting a little bit of a stutter now in some of the foreground graphics. As in, like, when they're trying to load in what's the closest to me when I'm down low. This is horrible. I'm gonna restart this. This is awful. I think I should just restart. I blew by the package, the whole 9 yards. I was just up and out. Redonkulous. No trim support yet. I mean, it's the exact same model as it was